Was a good girl. Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is December 31st. It is Monday, 2018. The last day of the year for 2018. Very exciting stuff. So before we jump into the video, I just want to do a quick reminder. This is the last day of the sale on my website. A lot of people have taken advantage of it already, but if you're interested, go to my website, preppernurse1.com. There will be a code on the very top. It says, gives you the discount code. It'll save you 20% off of any purchase that you make on my website. Again, it's my way of saying thank you. I've had some people jump on and saying, oh, all you're doing is advertisements all the time and blah, blah, blah. Well, if there's a sale, I'm going to let you guys know, and then you make your own decisions at that point. So that's what I do, and so some people don't like it. Well, I'm sorry for the trouble, but that's just the way it is. So anyway, so that's out of the way. So like I said, this is the last day of the sale. So if you're interested, it runs to midnight West Coast time, so 3 a.m. East Coast time. Okay, so let's get into the video. So first of all, as you can see, it is raining. Wow, look at that. It's overcast again, but it's also raining. So it's getting rain on this last day of the year. The temperature is, I think it's in the 40s. So we're getting rain instead of snow, which is a good thing. It's weather's just not very pleasant, but what are you going to do? So let's talk about what is to come in 2019. A lot of speculation going around on the internet. I got to clean this lens here, guys, so hold on. Hopefully that's better. Let me see, hold on. Okay. Well, somebody's being a tough guy over here. What you barking at, C's? Are you a tough guy? So anyway, what is to come in 2019? So I've heard all kinds of rumors. They're going to enact martial law. I've heard rumors they're going to be doing mass arrests of politicians. There's 68,000 sealed indictments or something like that. A lot of speculation. A lot of things going on. Is the stock market going to continue its decline? Is it going to crash? You know, what's going on? Honestly, guys, nobody knows for sure. Like I said, there is so much speculation out there of what is actually going to happen in 2019. The way I look at things, and I've always said this, you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best, okay? Whatever's going to happen, we're not going to change it by getting all worried and getting ourselves worked up about it. It's not going to change anything that is going to happen. Whatever is going to happen regardless. Now, the most likely scenario, like I said, and I've talked about this before, would be a lights out situation. And I've had a lot of people speculate on that and say, well, why would they do that? You know, they wouldn't have any tax money coming in and blah, 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 and all the, you know, the other reasons of why they wouldn't do it, meaning the powers that be, okay? Well, if you want to reduce your population and you cut the lights out, it will take care of itself, okay? So let's talk about who's going to be affected if there is a grid down situation. And of course, we would blame it on terrorists. Okay, now, of course we're going to blame that on terrorists. It would definitely be a terrorist attack that affected the grid, and they're going to do their best to get it up as soon as they possibly can. But let's say, 6 weeks. Let's say it's a 6-week situation, okay? Who's going to be affected in that 6 weeks? All right, realistically, your elderly are going to be affected probably more than anybody else, because they're not going to be able to have the kind of care that they need to have, the medicine that they need to have, the caregivers that they need to have there to take care of them. Because if there is a grid down situation for 6 weeks, people are going to take care of their own. Cops ain't going to be going to work. Your EMTs are not going to be running ambulances. Your nurses are not going to be in the hospitals. You know, the dentist is not going to be there, or anybody else. I mean, if people are just going to be taking care of their own, as they should, to be honest with you, in a worst case scenario of a grid down situation. Now, so your elderly is going to be your first people that are going to be affected greatly by that. Anybody that is on life-saving medication will definitely be affected by this, by a grid down situation. Anybody that is on a ventilator would be affected by a grid down situation. Anybody on dialysis would be affected by a grid down situation. So you're going to have a lot of compromised people that are going to die because they're not going to be able to get the kind of care that they need. And that would be, you know, now here's another one. You're profoundly mentally retarded people in group homes that rely on a lot of medications for seizures and whatnot, and caregivers to take care of them because they can't take care of themselves. And I'm not talking about the sweet little Down syndrome boy that they show is the poster child. I'm talking about profoundly where they're in chairs and can't walk, and you know, are very contorted, and you know, that are really reliant on people to take care of them. They're done, guys. I mean, those type of people are done. You know, anybody, like I said, in those situations, that's going to be really, really bad. The worst places to be, and I've had so many people, like, you know, say that, oh, well, you know, where you are, you're a target and blah 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 and all this type of stuff. You know, and like I said, because I've put myself out there, it does make me a target. It does, and I won't deny that. But the thing is, if you were in a city, that is the worst possible place that you could be in a grid down situation. Absolutely one of the worst places that you could be. Because after the city implodes upon itself and they've destroyed everything that they possibly can, rape, pillage, and burn everything that they possibly can, you're going to have a lot of young people die too in a grid down situation. The people that are going to be the survivors in a grid down situation, realistically, are going to be the most cunning, sneaky, people that know how to keep a low profile, the gray man situation, okay? Those are the people that are going to be able to survive, you know. And there's been a lot of, you know, I've talked about groups a lot, and I have a lot of people say a lot of negative things about being in a group. But I'm going to tell you what, if you want to survive what is going to be coming, you definitely have to have people that have your back that you can rely on. And I have said that over and over and over again, and I'm going to always stand by that, because there's safety in numbers. You cannot stay up 24 hours a day. You cannot do all the things that you're going to need to do. You're not going to be able to have that time. You know, you got to have to sleep at some point. So you need to have somebody that you can trust watching your back while you're sleeping. So those are things to think about. Like I said, the most likely scenario, in my opinion, would be a grid down situation, because it can be blamed on somebody else, and like I said, the numbers will take care of themselves. So what would a grid down situation, what would the benefit be for the government? Okay, well, they would get rid of a lot of what they like to affectionately call useless eaters. All right, you got a lot of people draining the system financially because they have to be taken care of, and all those type of things. So those people are not going to make it in a worst case scenario of a grid down situation of any length of time. Now let's say they decide to do a grid down situation for 6 months, okay? And I've heard a lot of people say this, okay, and this is what I think is kind of funny, and I find it ironic and I find it funny. A lot of people have said to me, well, we lived without power for, you know, thousands of years, and people did just fine. We'll adjust and we'll adapt. We live in a society of pampered people, guys. And myself included. I'm used to my luxuries that, you know, I'm not, you know, saying that, not, you know, oh, I'm a big tough guy because I'm out in the, you know, when I'm off grid and blah, blah, blah. No, I like my luxuries just like anybody else, okay? But I'm also prepared to deal with what happens in a grid down situation. You know, it's going to be a whole different ball game, and I think people are going to have a really, really rude awakening. We live in realistically, we are the fattest, laziest nation in the world. We really, truly are. So, you know, that's going to be a huge wake-up call for a lot of people, because it's not like you're going to run down to McDonald's and get a 2-3 Big Macs and a large fry, and of course you got to get your Diet Coke with that. And I'm making a joke, but it's really not a joke. All right, it's going to be a horrible situation. It would be very unpleasant. And, you know, that's what I think is really the most likely scenario to happen in a grid down situation. So, you know, it's, you know, that's the reality. And then you're going to have a lot of people that obviously were not prepared, that are going to be starving. and they're going to do what they need to do to feed their loved ones. So, you know, you need to think about that as well. So that's, like I said, that's why I think a group is so important. But there is a lot of speculation of what is going to happen next year. Realistically, all we can do, guys, honestly, only thing that we can do is continue to prepare, be ready. When something happens, you act. You don't react, you act at that point, okay? If you have a game place or a game plan in place, if I could speak, that would help. You know, then you're ready for those type of situations. And I think that that's going to be realistically the best way to deal with the situation. Sitting around worrying about this, that, or the other thing is not going to do you any good at all. Do the best you can. Try to prepare as best that you can. And remember, that, like I said, the biggest thing, and I've said this before, if you only have a 2-week supply of food and water, and that's all you've been able to do, that's the only thing you've been able to do, it gives you an advantage over 95% of the people in this country. That is a really big time incentive to have minimum of a 2-week supply of food and water. Now, obviously, the more that you have, the better off you're going to be, okay? So, like I said, that's just something that I want you all to think about. I hope next year is going to be a great year for everybody. I hope you're, like I said, whatever you're trying to pursue and accomplish, I hope you guys are able to do it. We talked before about making up a list. I'm going to show you guys. They're over here fighting over a bone. So, and then we got Mr. Lucy on the steps. I think he's ready to go back in. He rolled out, but I don't think he realized that it was raining. But anyway, guys, listen, so I want to jump off of here. Please be safe tonight. Don't drink and drive, because the cops are going to be out there like crazy. Go ahead, Luce. Go. The cops are going to be out there like crazy tonight. So be smart about it. If you're going to go out and party today, and I'm not saying don't go out and party and have a good time. Definitely go have a good time. But be careful. Don't drink and drive, because they're looking to jam people up. That's exactly what their whole thing is. They're looking to collect revenue. Don't give them an excuse to do it. If you're drinking, either stay home, or if you're going to go out, have an Uber, a taxi, do it that way. Just don't drive. Like I said, it's just not worth it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off of here. Remember, we are all in this together. And remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. I'm sorry about the water on the lens, because I can see it. There's more water on there now. Can't help it. It's raining, so what are you going to do? But, you know, tell that person every day how you feel about them, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. Remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to do, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. And that's important to remember as well, okay? Follow your dreams. I mean, whatever they are, whatever your passion is, don't let people hold you back and tell you can't do it. You can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. On that note, I hope everybody has a happy new year, and I will talk to you all next year. All right? I'll see you later. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.